What happens to your brain when you learn to play guitar? 10 amazing facts. First fact: the brain begins to coordinate different worlds. When you hold a guitar for the first time, your brain must connect vision, hearing, and movement simultaneously. The left side, responsible for logic and rhythm, merges with the right side, which interprets emotion and harmony. This fusion creates a veritable concert inside your head. The brain learns to synchronize hemispheres like never before. Second fact: fingers teach the brain to think differently. With each chord, the brain creates a motor map. The fingers repeat movements, and synapses strengthen like trained muscles. Over time, the body plays without thinking because the brain has transferred control to automatic regions, such as the cerebellum. This is bodily intelligence taking shape. Third fact: musical memory awakens. Learning the guitar deeply activates the hippocampus, the memory center. It stores sound patterns, movements, and sensations. That's why, even after years of not playing, your fingers remember the notes. Music becomes a living memory within the brain. Fourth fact: the brain enters a state of flow. When playing, the brain releases dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins, substances that generate pleasure, focus, and tranquility. This is the state of flow, that moment when time seems to disappear. Your brain is completely immersed, and this sensation is scientifically comparable to deep meditation. Fifth fact: rhythm strengthens the logical mind. Counting beats, following time signatures, and creating rhythmic patterns stimulates areas of the brain responsible for mathematics and logical reasoning. Those who learn music develop sharper analytical skills. The brain learns to count, predict, and react accurately. Sixth fact: emotions gain a new voice. When you play, the limbic system, the center of emotions, is activated. Music translates feelings that words can't. The brain learns to transform emotion into sound, and this improves your ability to cope with sadness, anxiety, and even loneliness. Playing becomes a form of silent therapy. Seventh fact: hearing becomes more intelligent. The brain begins to identify frequencies, timbres, and small variations in tone with surgical precision. You begin to perceive sounds in the world more clearly: footsteps, wind, voices. Your brain literally learns to hear better. Eighth fact: the brain learns patience and discipline. Missing chords and repeating drills activates the mental persistence circuit. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for focus and control, is strengthened. Playing the guitar teaches the brain that progress comes from repetition, and this lesson is reflected in all areas of life. Ninth fact: creativity explodes in chords. The brain begins to create unusual connections between sound, emotion, and memory. This generates spontaneous creativity, improvisations, compositions, new ideas. Each note is an exercise in invention, and the brain becomes fertile ground for imagination. 10th fact: the guitar transforms the brain into a living orchestra. After months of practice, the brain changes. It thinks faster, feels more deeply, and reacts more harmoniously. Learning the guitar isn't just about playing music, it's about becoming music. The brain and the instrument begin to play together, as if they were one. Want to see what else happens to your brain when you learn to play guitar and other amazing things about your mind? Click the links below.